The John LeBang Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised.
Scheduled programming to bring you a show on the edge, podcasting worldwide and out to the greater universe. You're listening to the John LeBang Show.
Buckle up, folks. This week's second hour is headed your way. I'm John LeBang. We have a special treat for you this hour, ladies and gentlemen. Radio talk show host Kevin Holly will be joining us here in the second segment. We'll probably run through a whole gamut of questions for him. And if you haven't heard his show, this is a great time to get to know what is out there outside of the mainstream media. But before that, I thought we'd get to your phone calls. Maybe you want to make a comment on something we discussed in the first hour, or maybe something else is on your mind and you'd like to hear our opinion on it. Feel free to call us on that banger hotline. You can go to the website, www.jlebang.com. Let's go over to line 1 in Austin, Texas. AJ, what say you? Okay, thanks for your call. Looks like line 3 is coming from one of our affiliate stations out in Tampa, Florida, Bubba Army Radio. Cora, what say you?
Sonny, why don't you talk more about that hurricane? It came down and blew down my neighbor's house, and now I'm sitting in 4 foot of water. And I can't get my Geritol, can't get my Depends, nothing.
Well, from what I hear, FEMA will be there any day.
Sonny, I can't wait for that crap.
Why didn't you leave?
You know how long it would take for me to use my walker to get out of the way?
Didn't you have any family that could have came and got you?
All my kids are stupid. All they want was money and money and money. Not one of them want to help me with my Depends underwear, so I cut them all out of the will. Now they won't want to talk to me.
I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am. Wait for FEMA. They'll be there any day.
Oh, you suck.
Thanks for your opinion and your call. Our next call coming in on line 2, all the way from Las Vegas, listening to us on our affiliate Radio Vegas Rocks. Tex, what say you?
Y'all was just here gambling and I heard your radio show and I wanted to make a comment.
And what did you want to comment about, sir?
Boy, you're crazier than my ex-wives.
How so?
You ain't never gonna get rid of them Democrats. They're there forever. Don't you know that, boy?
Well, I never said we're going to get rid of them.
They're too stupid to do it, boy. And why you gonna get rid of them Republicans? I'm a Republican.
Oh, you support those linguini-spined Republicans.
Are you calling me sissy?
No, I'm not calling you a sissy. I'm calling the people you vote into office sissies.
That's it. I'm not listening to your show no more.
Thanks for calling. Bye. Calling in on our Chicago affiliate, Peppa, listening in on 24.7 The Stream. What say you?
Oh, honeys, I think we can make it all better if we bring back President Obama.
I don't think so, Peppa. In fact, this is probably due to President Obama.
All the hate's on the other side, can't you tell? All they need is a good slap in the mouth.
And the hate's on the other side, right?
Yeah, we just beat them till they shut your mouth. Then we can be civil again.
I see.
And can I say one more thing?
Sure, why not?
That this is stupid. I think I'm gonna slap that bitch in the face with my big fat boobie next time I see her.
What are you saying?
I'm saying I challenge that bitch to a rematch.
You mean a rematch of the wrestling match we had a few years ago?
That's right. This time I'm gonna flatten her lips.
Well, I don't know if she's up for it.
I wasn't doubted. That little skanky hoe's ugly.
Okay, well, Ditzy, if you're listening, Pepper has issued a challenge to you. You feel free to call in and let us know if you accept the challenge.
And if you don't, you're just a chicken leg skinny hoe.
Okay, Peppa, thanks for your call. Our next call comes in from our affiliate, WRFN 1025. Henry, what say you?
John, they are talking about putting a global net around the planet made of machines that could stop the sun to help stop climate change.
I did see a headline on Earther about that, but I didn't really read it.
Apparently, there are several variations in the so-called solar geoengineering theme, but they all have the same end goal, using aerosols to blanket our atmosphere with reflective particles in order to quickly lower global temperatures.
Oh, I see. So they can't hide it anymore. So now they're sending out people to talk about these aerosols that they're going to put in the sky, even though they've been doing it for at least 15 years. This is so blatantly obvious. They can't hide it anymore. And all the people that were out there talking about the chemtrails and aerosols in the sky, and they were called crazy, and they were called nuts, including yours truly. Now it's becoming mainstream that's how they have to control the climate, to make sure we don't get any strange, wacky climate change. Thank you, Henry, for your call.
My pleasure.
Can you believe this? So, what he's referring to is an article on the website Earther, where they're discussing machines that could darken the sun to stop climate change. And what they're talking about is sending up drones, sending up airplanes, other vehicles in the sky to lay aerosols to create artificial clouds that will then reduce the sun's effect on our climate, and that will be their solution to climate change. Even though once you start that, you can never stop because you're going to affect the environment's aerosols. Remember when in the 90s when aerosols were bad for the environment? Do you guys remember that? But not when the government does it. Not when the leaders and scientists all do these sort of things. Then it's okay. They're trying to save the planet. But you, with those aerosol cans, that was in the 80s or 90s where aerosols were bad. Don't use aerosols. Hurts the environment. Now they're going to use aerosols to fix the environment. Unbelievable. We got to take a quick break, folks. On the other side of this, we have our guest, Mr. Kevin Holly, joining us for a rousing discussion. Don't go anywhere now.
John will be right back right after this.
Yes, he will. Check out the new book from Derek Shelmerdine,
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It tells the story of rock and roll from its roots right up until the mid-70s punk.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Not just the music, but also the events that shaped the music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It includes the backgrounds to recording sessions, singles, album releases, births and deaths, epic concerts, and festivals.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Shelmerdine has made a painstaking effort to document pretty much every event that would prove significant in shaping popular music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Purchase the book at www.rockandrollunraveled.com. Follow him at Twitter at R&R Unraveled, and look him up on Facebook at Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
By author Derek Shelmerdine.
Available now. You're listening to the John LeBang Show.
It's hydroponic radio for your brain, man.
Feel smarter yet? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the John LeBang Show. A great radio host from Florida. His name is Kevin Holly. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on. I don't know if you should church me up that much, but yeah, no, I'm doing fantastic.
So before we get on, before I ask you the minor details, there's one pertinent question I have to ask you, brother. Are you wearing underwear?
I am indeed wearing underwear, but the underwear that I am wearing is the last clean pair that I had before I came up here to do the show with you tonight. So there's some holes in my underwear. You could call it holy, whatever you want to call it. Kevin Holy underwear, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I'm wearing them. I don't know if it counts, but they're on. The waistband is intact.
So now the world knows that both of us wear underwear.
Yes, this is true. I remember the last time we spoke. Man, there was underwear talk. I don't know why.
Yeah, I heard Shady had called your show randomly one night.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was Shady asking about you. Yeah, it was my girlfriend wanted to know what your underwear was. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was my 250th episode. And then Shady like pranked you one night or something. He can be real, he's shady. What can you say?
Hey, I don't take offense. I mean, do your thing, Jelly Bean. It's cool.
So now that we got that out of the way, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your show and what goes on there? Because it's 18 and over, so it's not PG-13 like the John LeBang show. You're more of a rated R show.
Oh man, I'm so glad you asked. I mean, I don't know how to put it into words, John. It's like I don't know. It's kind of like comedy meets celebrity. We like to do celebrity interviews. We interview. A big part of our show is supporting local artists, local musicians, local stand-up comedians, and just people like that. But we also work with a PR guy out in Los Angeles, so we do get some from time to time some actors, actresses, authors, people that direct and produce movies. So it's kind of a mix. But when we're not interviewing somebody, which usually the interviews aren't very long. It's usually about 3 hours of just dick and fart jokes for the most part.
Excuse me, this is Shady. Just for a minute, I want to ask you a question. Why the hell are you lowering yourself by coming on the John LeBang show?
Oh, wait a minute. This is the John LeBang? I thought this was the Steven Seagal show. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
I thought it was the John Lennon show.
Come on, Shady. I'm thinking John LeBang. I mean, dude. You have like 50 affiliates. How many internet radio stations, terrestrial radio stations, podcast affiliates do you have? It's like I can't even count them all.
Not 50. I'm close, but not 50. We're only on 40 in 5 countries. So we're doing it for a nobody that works out of his house here and just puts together the best thing he can possibly do as a one-man job here. One-man job. See, I thought you said it was a PG-13 show, John.
Calm your tits, man. I'm sorry. Did I say it? Am I allowed to say tits? I don't even know.
We say boobies here.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. You can say titty witties. We don't care. Whatever you want.
I'm pretty sure that's what I said. Stop yelling at me, sir.
So how long you been doing this?
Oh, wow. This is our 4th year. In August, we started our 4th year. So, we've been going strong, and we do a 3-hour program every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, and every once in a while, we'll do a remote. So there's a few extra shows here and there. There's some that I've deleted from the show reel that were just, older or more terrible, and I got to make room. I don't have enough money to pay for a 24/7 type station, that kind of thing, so but yeah, going on 4 years, man.
So who are your big influences in this thing?
Oh man, that's a really good question. When I started off, I didn't have really any. As a kid growing up in Chicago, you listen to The Loop and people like Mancow and even Morning Zoo type radio, but as I've been doing the show and learning more about who's out there and who's who and what's what. And, oh, man, there's so many. But off the top of my head, I like Jim Norton a lot. I like the Chip Chipperson podcast. that to me is hilarious. I like on the more political front, I like Shannon Burke. This guy, John LeBang, that I like, he's pretty cool.
He's a schmeckle.
No, man. For real though, there's so many different things that I listen to that it's almost a blur. What I really get off on lately though is the local stuff, man. I like being a part of the IRN and listening to the shows on there, like Spicoli, and he's been around for 15 years now, something like that. Guy was on PBS. You know what I mean? It's cool like that. But as far as like the more famous mainstream types, you always hear your Howard Sterns, and locally for me in Tampa, you got the Mike Calta show. I like Drew Garabo, but I would probably say comedians, man. Guys like Jimmy Norton make me laugh, and if I'm not laughing, I'm probably not going to be listening for the most part, unless there's some kind of political thing that I want to pay attention to. So for the most part, I like comics, man. I like listening to a little bit of Joe Rogan. It's kind of fun once in a while. I've never subscribed to anything like that. I'm not religious about watching or listening to programs like that, but it's fun. Every time I tune in, it's a good show, and so I don't know. I mean, influenced mostly by probably myself in the mirror. I don't know, man.
So, like, when you mentioned comedians, like, what about like Rich